the women's Wargames match. This one is super, super tough to call because, again, like the men's match, there's so many storylines that could be derived from no matter how this goes, right? We have so many great heels and faces involved in this one as Rhea teams with Bianca, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley to take on old school JD, not JD McDonough of Judgment Day, but the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Stratton, and Candice LaRae. I'm confused, guys. I'm going to go first on this because I don't want y'all to think that I'm riding your coattails. Because I have been the last two matches. So with this third match, it doesn't make sense for the heels to win this match, in my view. There's a lot of reasons why for that, and I'm not going to go too far in because I don't want to sway your opinions, and maybe later we'll talk about it. I'm going to go with Rhea, Bianca, Naomi, and Io Sky, and my tiebreaker, should we need one, is that Io Sky pins Candice LaRae. Hot takes in Wins World, y'all. Get ready. Don't burn yourself. Don't burn yourself.
You want a hot take? You want a hot take?
Oh, well, we know there's a cash in. Come on, it's time to cash in, baby.
No. I mean, there might be, but that's not what I'm going with.
Okay.
The heels are going to win. Because I think that the person who hurt Jade was Bianca Belair. I think Bianca turns on the face team and hands the match to the heels.
Wow. That's like on the roulette table going with double zeros right there. If you hit big, Des. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, who else could it be? You know?
Who else is going to get the jump on Jade?
Right.
Come on.
Who else is close enough to her to have that access, right? Makes sense logically.
Like, they're trying to make it look like Bayley is going to be the problem. That's where the story is aiding it, but I don't think they're going to turn Bayley heel again. Not so soon. I think it makes sense if they're really wanting to push Jade and Bianca for WrestleMania. They have Bianca injure Jade. They hand over the titles because of injury. And when she comes back, she announces that she knows who did it. Or whatever happens. And that also, when she turns on, or when she turns on the face team, you know, Bianca could let them know, it's like, yeah, I did it. And whatever reason, right? But it's going to be that moment, and it'll give her time, Jade time to stay. She can stay out to kayfabe heel, which will give Bianca time to go through and deal with Rhea Ripley and the other members of the face team.
I love it. Bold prediction. So you're saying you don't think there's going to be a cash-in at the end of this match?
There may or may not be a cash-in. But if there is, I think it'll be completely overshadowed by the fact that Bianca is turning on the face team.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that would be a huge development in this match. I mean, that would be overshadowed by that. I agree with that. Booch, which one in your mind is more plausible? That turn or a cash-in by Tiffy time?
Probably the cash-in. I don't see the turn happening here. I do believe Bianca's the one that took her out. But I think they might drag it out a little bit longer and try to create more tension. But I do find it interesting, and someone pointed this out, that...
I have a question for you. Because obviously this was something that you and I talked about. Did you think about Bianca being the person to hurt Jade before or after I mentioned it?
Definitely before, when I saw the picture on Twitter. Because I'm thinking, why would they take Jade out? And again, my whole thought with Jade and Bianca has been WrestleMania. That's where I've been going. That's why I kept saying they were going to retain those belts, because they're going to wait till they got closer to Mania before they drop the belts, and then they turn on each other there. But I'm thinking, okay, because this is what I'm thinking when I'm watching. I'm seeing the picture of Jade. I didn't see the actual footage. I just see Jade laid out on the car and WWE literally listing every single injury she had in the most technical term possible. It's like a doctor tweeted this. Like literally, like torn, Brabus, lotator, like all these words you would never use. Like, what happened? I broke my arm. They're saying a fracture of the left fibia and the tibia and the like, whatever. And
Yeah.
that's probably for the foot. I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor. So my point is, I'm saying I'm watching this. I'm thinking she's out for WrestleMania. She's out. She can stay home for a while to drag it out. They're gonna find out who did it. Bianca did it, and then you brought up the possibility she's gonna have Metaphor help her. That I didn't think about till you said it. I knew Bianca was behind it, but how, I didn't know. But when you brought up that she might have had Metaphor help out, that made me kind of go, oh. So that I didn't think about. But so if that happens, that's definitely you. But I will say, I definitely believe Bianca did it. Do I think she's going to reveal it at Survivor Series? No. Because I think her plan is, I want the spotlight for myself. So I don't think she's going to cost her team. I think she's going to try to win for the team, maybe. And then later on, Jade comes back. And like you said, Jade's the one that reveals it was Bianca. And then
But here's the deal.
Finally is backed into a corner and says, yeah, I did it.
If she turns on her team, the spotlight is on her, not on the win. And everybody knows it.
But I'm saying, you could do like, remember how like Shawn Michaels, when he revealed Triple H attacked him in the parking lot by using like camera footage and stuff? I'm kind of similar to that. Jade might do something like that and then be like, it was you, Bianca.
They have been doing a lot of throwbacks. So
yeah.
So Booch, who's winning the match?
Oh, I'll tell you this right now. It's gonna be T Ripley, but I'm gonna say one other thing because it needs to be said. Wens mentioned something at the very beginning when he gave his pick, and that words, it doesn't make sense. And you're right. This doesn't make any sense. This was literally you have 3 months to work on a project. You woke up and went, oh crap, this is due tomorrow, and this is the match we got.
It's
literally thrown together that quick. But I mentioned one thing about the War Games rules. And I didn't go into details. I didn't want to step over this match. And it's the advantage. There's a thing in wrestling that old school people know, but the modern people, not all of them, but a good chunk of them, can't seem to wrap their heads around this one concept. They are so dense, light bends around them. And that is the concept of psychology. It's lost on a lot of you. And here's how psychology works. In a War Games match, when you have the advantage, always, without question, without compromise, is supposed to go to the heels. You never give the babyface team the advantage. Now, some of you are thinking, why is that? Good question. Here's the answer. You start off with 2 people. Every 5 minutes, another person comes in. It's 2-on-1. The heels do that to gang up on the babyface and get their heat. Then, as they're beating up the babyface, 5 minutes goes by. Babyface comes in, makes the comeback. Now it's evenly matched. And that's how you do it. Heat, comeback, heat, comeback. It's simple. So simple a child could book it to make that happen. So now, you've already fucked up the psychology of the women's War Games match before the bell is even rung. But I will give credit, and I just thought of this yesterday, there's a saving grace that they can use for psychology, but only in this case can they do it. And here's how you do it. First 2 people you put in the cage, Nia Jax, Io Sky. And for those 5 minutes, Nia Jax has to demolish Io Sky. I'm talking no offense from Io of any kind. Mm-hmm. Then you bring in another babyface, preferably Bayley or Bianca. You save Rhea for last. You bring in that. Now, she comes in. They can beat up on Nia Jax because it's 2 girls beating up the big bitch, as I call her. I mean that complimentary. Then it's believable because 2 small guys beating up a big person makes sense. You need 2 small people to beat up a big person. Then what do? Second person, Raquel Rodriguez. She comes in. Now you got 2 big people beating up smaller people. Heels get their heat. Then you bring in Naomi or something. Boom. Then you got 2-3 people banging up on 2 bigger people. Because you need a gang of small people to beat up a big person. It works. So that's the only way to save this.
the heels having a size advantage makes a difference.
Yes. So that way, when the baby faces gang up on the big heel, it's not as bad. So if they do it like that, they can save the psychology. But if anybody other than Nia Jax walks into that kid, like if they start off with Io Sky and Candice LeRae, congratulations, you just fucked the match.
Yeah, agree.
But
I would say you could start with Io and Raquel. It doesn't have to be Nia. Raquel is just as big of a bad.
Yeah.
Just not Candice LeRae. I think that's what we're all trying to say.
You have to start with one of the giants. You have to start with one of the big ones.
Right.
Yes. And then have the second one be a giant as well. Then the other ones can come in.
Yeah.
And of course, Rhea's going to be. And that's another reason why I wish the heels had the advantage. Because I think Rhea's going to get the loudest pop when she goes into the cage.
Of course.
So you want her to be the very last person. Everyone's getting ganged up. Rhea's in that shark cage. 5,
ready to go.
4, 3, 2, 1. They open. She sprints down that cage, runs right in, takes everybody out. Crowd's going to go nuts. So you kill that pop because when Rhea goes in, we still got to wait 5 minutes for one of the heels to walk in, which will probably be Liv. She'll probably go in last.
There you have it. So 2 of us for Team Rhea.
Yes. And
then
tiebreaker, Rhea pins Liv.
Okay.
That ain't happening.
Liv. I mean, it makes too much sense, right?
No, they're not going to give Rhea the pin over Liv right now. That's too big into the storyline, and that story's not ending in the middle of a throw together match.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The story's going to continue. But that's Rhea coming back, and then that gives them a reason to keep it going. Like Rhea pinned the champion, but their title's not on the line. So she can pin her okay.
Realistically, it would make more sense if she pins Raquel because Raquel's the person she's after right now, not Liv.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, didn't Io Sky win a #1 contenders match?
Yeah, so she's already got a title. So that's why
it would make sense to push her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what kind of.
Yeah, they'll probably say that for Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, and we can't forget about the Netflix debut coming up, guys. They're gonna be saving a lot for that debut. Hopefully it doesn't crash like Tyson Jake Paul, but time will tell.